What is good, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? It's your boy BBK Dragoon. I'm coming at you today with a replay review on my favorite map in Halo 4. It is Haven. We are on board with Doom Knight 117. It's Infinity Rumble, which is free for all for those of you who don't know. Every man for himself. Doom Knight is a good player and a friend. I've played against him before and played with him before. I'm going to try my best to address a critique some of you brought up in the previous replay reviews, asking BBK, would you also highlight the positives and not just the negatives? So I'm going to try and talk about both ends of the stick, what I think Doom Knight does really, really well, and what I think he could improve upon. Right away, I want to instill the theme in your head of power weapons, Mr. Doom Knight. Throughout this gameplay, you don't really motivate yourself to pick up the power weapons, such as the concussive rifle and the sniper. You also miss a saw here in about a minute or so. So walking past this concussive rifle right here, I'm not sure what the negative is of not picking that up. Sick Hail Mary, by the way. I would argue that it's always nicer to have a power weapon in your back pocket. Oh, just not charging the bolt shot up enough there. I've done that a lot before. I would argue that it's always nicer to have a weapon like the concussive rifle in your back pocket rather than a bolt shot, a magnum, or a plasma. The same is true with the sniper rifle. Here's the other thing too. If you're motivating yourself to pick up those power weapons, they are high traffic areas where you're usually going to find a lot of opponents who are probably already duking it out and battling. So it alleviates some of the stress on you to actually control the map, when a lot of map control in free-for-all is around the power weapons. Coming up here, you're going to run right over the saw, which is bad news bears because the saw, after the patch, is one of the best power weapons in the game. That thing shreds people to pieces. I also want to critique right here your ordnance timing. You see two guys on the radar. You take out this first one right here. I probably would have tossed a nade, but you walk around the corner, get a nice kill, but called in the ordnance at kind of an inopportune moment. You pick up the speed boost, and rather than using what the speed boost gives you, a nice way to get around a player who has low sensitivity, you end up just going for the double melee. Fast forwarding a little bit further here, I wanted to highlight you're over by the sniper rifle, and the sniper rifle is right there available. You take the kill, and it's a pretty safe place to operate, but you don't rush for the sniper rifle. Again, off spawn, I'm just fast forwarding a little bit. You guys, you're just missing the spawns and the movement. You get a nice double kill here. I think that's smart, but right now, instead of just hanging out down here, there's a beautiful sniper rifle right behind you just waiting for the pickings. I would highly suggest check out this. Boom! Ladies and gents, that is a gorgeous corner nade. If you want to know how to shut down people who are chasing you constantly, lure them around a corner, do what Doom Knight just did. He laid a nade at his opponent's feet because he predicted his movement, and when that guy walked around the corner, boom, got taken out immediately. Sword guy, kind of hard to tell, right? Again, I'm just fast forwarding off of the spawns. You're not really missing any of the engagements. So I'm gonna have a little question here. You call in an OS over the beam rifle. I think that the beam rifle, this is just my opinion, I think the beam rifle is the most powerful power weapon in the game. I think it's the easiest to use. The hitbox for the headshot is enormous. You have a lot of shots, and it fires very, very quickly. As far as a no-scoping monstrous gun, I don't think there's a better weapon in the game. Now, you use the OS really well. Viewers and players, check out what Doom Knight does once he gets the OS. He makes sure that he gets himself into aggressive positions and postures himself in places where he can use that OS to his advantage. He's not playing passively once he gets his OS. He knows he has basically X amount of time to use this OS and X amount of time to use that advantage. So very well done, but in the future, you may want to consider the beam rifle, because I think the beam rifle, far and away, trashes an oversealed all the time. Just my opinion. Really nice streak that you go on right there, though. You end up making a lot of use out of that overshield, so not going to critique it too much. Yet again, the sniper rifle is up, and you're not making a rush for it. I know the score is tight right now, but I imagine you're going to find a lot of players over at that end of the map, rather than over here at Mohawk, where you're going to probably get involved in these little one-off engagements, which pretty much rely on who sees who first, right? This ordnance drop I agree with. You could probably have chosen Sticky Det and gotten away with it, but this is beautiful too. Again, knowing exactly how to use your overshield. Once you call it in, you play aggressively, you get in people's faces, and you make sure you use that advantage that you have. You see two players below you, one up here on the top. I would suggest dropping down immediately, trying to interrupt that fight below you, rather than trying to take these little one-off fights, especially at the end of the game where it's really, really important to secure those final kills. But GG, good game. I will see you in the bullet points, Doom Knight. Thanks for the replay today. I tried to bring up the positives and the negatives. I thought that corner nade was sick. I love the way you used the overshield and did not let it go to waste. You made sure that you saw the advantage of, hey, I've got this shield, I can play aggressive, I can get in people's faces, and I can mess them up. One of the critiques I will say is power weapons. Think about when you want to be picking them up, which is usually always, and how you want to control those areas of the map. A lot of times that's where the most players will be, and a sniper rifle and a concussive rifle, I will always argue, will give you more success than a secondary pistol. Now, ordnance timing. I think it's important that you call in ordnance at the right time, but more importantly, you choose the right ordnance. You use the OS very well. But think about that destruction you could bring with a beam rifle. Whenever I see an ordnance with a beam rifle, I do a little happy dance because that thing is wicked powerful. And finally, try and interrupt as many engagements as possible. It's really tough to take one-on-one fights in free-for-all. It almost always comes down to who sees who first. So if you can give yourself the advantage of, oh, I hear two guys gunfighting down there, I'm going to drop down and and clean it up. Easy, like a janitor. Doom Knight, thanks for the replay. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you later this week. My name is BBK Dragoon, and leave your thoughts down below. Please be nice. Some of the things that people write, 98 and 99% of you are beautiful and lovely, but I have to laugh at some of the lack of tact a few people have in their critiques. So, tact is important. If you don't know what it is, look it up. And other than that, I'll catch you guys later. BBK Dragoon is out. Peace.